94.3 The Game, WRHD-HD1, Farmville, Greenville. Powered by the Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers. Go to GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com. It's 5 o'clock in Pirate Country, and it's time to get pumped up with the P-Man. Hit the door and hit the road. 94.3 The Game is going to get you home, and the P-Man's not holding back.
Yes! Yes! Pirates win! Pirates win!
Bring on the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Holy mackerel! Oh, my goodness!
The flagship station of the ECU Pirates.
All right, welcome in. Hello again, everybody. Happy Monday to you. This final day of July. It just seems like July is just dragged on to me this go-around. Welcome in. We've got Philip the Ref Pilkington back producing. Also, Clark Willis is here, and we will hear from those guys a little bit later on. It's nice to have you with us on this Monday to start another week. It's the week in which ECU football reports. Everybody will get to campus and report to camp officially, I guess, tomorrow. There we go. And I want to say that we'll have coverage of what is going on post-practice starting pretty quick. On Wednesday, we'll have some comments from Coach Houston as things get underway. Lots to talk about, as there always is. Excited to have Bryant Packard on the show today. Bryant is going to be the new student assistant at ECU, and he's going to be working with one of the training academies here in Greenville. So we'll talk to Bryant Packard. Long time coming to get Pack on the show. Finally have worked it out, as he announced last week he was retiring from baseball. I'm not going to delay the news that obviously struck everybody by surprise on Friday. And here is my a couple of things, because I don't like leading the audience on in any way. We, because of manpower issues, had tape shows Thursday and Friday. Because, again, of manpower issues, we had to tape the shows on certain days, and we had taped the Friday show ahead of this news that broke. And when we do that, because occasionally we have to do it based on my schedule and other people's schedule, and trying not to work people to death necessarily, especially on weeks when we're doing things, with broadcasts, because we produce all the play-fly broadcasts out of our facilities. As far like old school, I mean, we have the Nerve Center is here, but also we have things like Concert on the Common and things like that. We just try to do things so we're not wearing people out constantly, if that makes any sense. And we got a lot of talented folks here, but we want to make sure that they're doing okay. And real life comes up for people. People are on vacation. People have an emergency. So there's all kinds of things that encroach upon that. So I got a ton of calls when the news broke with the Chris Edwards situation. Tons of calls, tons of texts, messages, all kinds of stuff. And we were not going to be live that day, and we really couldn't situate it where we were going to be live that day. And we knew that, and that's a rarity, because usually if we do something where we have a tape show at any point, we always have the ability, because of people are available, and we'd have to call them in, but they're available to hop on, and we can go on and break big news and deal with big breaking news at a moment's notice. We didn't do that on Friday. Again, because of just, manpower issues and things that were pre-planned ahead of time, and that's cool. No problem with that. Obviously, we weren't thinking this magnitude of news would be breaking, and it is certainly unfortunate. I know Chris very well. In fact, I called Chris and congratulated him the night before he was announced as the voice of the Pirates and director of broadcasting for Playfly. But Chris is someone that I consider, a friend in the industry. And we've always had a nice relationship with one another the last 7 or 8 years that we've known each other, the better part of the last decade. So, I certainly was, dismayed for all the parties involved. East Carolina for sure, because, that's the first thing that everybody's saying is this news has kind of rolled out over the weekend and gotten more national. You see ECU mentioned. I was told WRAL, who never covers ECU anymore, that was their lead sports story that night. So it was just interesting, it kind of feeds into the beast of, well, anytime anybody in the triangle can report something negative on ECU, that's the only time they will. So that's who I feel really bad for, my university and its athletic department, and a lot of people I know and consider friends there. Certainly feel bad for the Playfly folks, and I do feel badly for Chris, but he was not forthright on his resume, and you just can't do that in this day and time, especially if it's the place where you have applied to work, claiming that you had graduated from there. And I went back and looked at this. Someone mentioned it to me, so I went back and looked. The ad that came out initially one of the qualifications was a 4-year undergraduate degree. I don't know if that would have made a difference if, he had put down attend. I don't know. Can't say. Was not privy to any of that process past a certain point. So, but I think this is a thing you always want to make sure you're upfront with people on job resumes, because this is obviously a tough situation for all involved. Now, Pilk, I'm going to the sunglasses because I cannot find my glasses, but my sunglasses have the ability to magnify things in readers here.
You look stylish, Patrick. I love it.
Well, that's what I'm going for. Sort of the Imus Stern deal here. Let me see. I got this on the phone. Oh, of course. But there was a release today, and I don't know if this was something from that was maybe sent out to EC. It was posted on social media, and it looks like it is from John Gilbert. And I don't know if this was something that they emailed out to, Pirate Club members, donors, that sort of thing. But from that statement, John said he wanted to comment on the recent news concerning the director of broadcasting position, called Friday a difficult day for all parties involved. And I want to share a little background before we move forward with another candidate. ECU Athletics partnered with Playfly Sports beginning in the summer of 22, exclusive media rights holder, positive partnership. As I paraphrase it all here, helped our department grow our marketing and revenue opportunities and better invest in student athletes sports programs. The position of Director of Broadcasting and Voice of the Pirates is a Playfly Sports employee and has a multitude of duties in addition to handling radio play-by-play for Pirate football and men's basketball. Playfly Sports oversaw the administrative process of the initial hire after we agreed on the candidate of choice. Additional info was brought to our attention following the public announcement, which resulted in a decision by Playfly Sports to rescind their offer before the candidate's official start date in mid-August. Goes on to say, obviously, this is not ideal with teams beginning to compete in a little over a month, but says that it's imperative to always do what's best for the Pirates, and they are continuing to have internal conversations, according to what John has sent out to folks on the next steps of the hiring the position, and they'll have an update soon, they say. And goes on to talk about the position being prominent and certainly a visible position. So there you go with that. And we will see what ends up happening here, because whatever move is going to be made, it's going to have to be made fairly swiftly. Some other notes from the world of sports. One of the big things from the weekend, and this was interesting to me because it could involve East Carolina very directly. You have teams reportedly, according to Jim Williams, who is kind of, I guess he works for Forbes and some other outlets based out of the nation's capital, and as a media consulting guy, he's kind of dialed in. I guess he reported this, SI, and then others started to report it shortly after. But the Pac-12, and apparently teams that have filled out paperwork with hopes of joining the Pac-12, this is all stemming from initially USC and UCLA leaving, and then Colorado announcing they're going to the Big 12. And they include some teams in the American. SMU has reportedly filled out the paperwork to try to join the Pac-12. SMU is, if there were an opening in the National JUCO Region 10, I think SMU would apply for the paperwork to apply for the position. Tulane, USF, which is really crazy considering where they are in Tampa, Memphis, and then you have others. Tulsa is one of them also, and Rice, who just joined the American this month. So Fresno State, out of the Mountain West, Boise State. Some of those obviously make sense. UNLV is in there. Colorado State is in there, and then San Diego State. I think San Diego State's the most likely candidate to join the Pac-12 for sure, because it does give them a Southern California presence, which is something that they probably want to have. So that's where they are as far as the multiple programs that have decided to join. Obviously, this would be problematic for East Carolina, and you just have to wonder where the Big 12 is in their expansion. Pilk, you're a sports nerd. You know some of this. Where's the Big 12 now with Colorado joining with members? Well, does that put them back to 12, or where does that put them?
Yeah, I believe it does, because they're at 10, and then they lost 2 to put them at 8. Then now they're gaining 3, which would put them at 11. Obviously,
they're gaining
Houston.
Houston.
Central Florida.
Central Florida, BYU, and Cincinnati.
And Cincinnati. I forgot about BYU. So this might put them at 13, because they were at 10 prior to the departure of the 2 Red River teams. That brought them down to 8. So it looks like they're already at 12. So Colorado would put them at 13, which would be a very awkward number, especially in football.
Odds are the Big 12 would be adding 1 or maybe 3. That would seem to be the case. I find it interesting that so many of these Central Time Zone or Texas schools have sought out membership in the Pac-12. So that kind of tells me the Big 12 may not be interested in them, or maybe these schools are just filling out the paperwork to try to cover their base. But, I mean, if you're Tulane and you're like the New Orleans Pelicans are in the West in the NBA, that's always crazy. Now they're flying, they have the best of everything in the world, guys in the NBA do, but I mean, you're still flying a couple time zones to play the vast majority of your schedule on the road. If you're Tulane, and hell, if you're USF, that just seems tough, especially since this is the other part of the whole Pac-12 saga right now. There's no media rights deal. So that's the first thing they want to do. But I think it's a chicken and an egg situation here. And I think, frankly, the CW pulling off of or signing with the ACC, now they could still, because of the time zone difference, strike a deal with the Pac-12 potentially, but that's not going to be anything that's going to keep the Pac-12 afloat at the level at which they need to remain afloat. So I think Pac-12's got some real problems, and I think it was announced that definitely Stanford and Cal would stay. There's nothing that would make them move on. Other members of the Pac-12, I guess they may wind up potentially in the Big 12. So where does that leave East Carolina? We will see. Should East Carolina be trying to do what they can to position themselves to be in the Big 12? I think it all depends on what the Big 12 wants to add ultimately. Congratulations to the Pitt County Softball League U12 All-Star team. They knocked off Tennessee Friday, shutting them out. And they will now, as the champions of the Little League Softball Southeast Regional, they will head to the Pitt County Little League Softball World Series in Greenville. Pitt County, of course, was the host last year, but had to win its way through the regional to get back. So we'll talk to some of those folks this week. The softball regional starts next weekend, or World Series, I beg your pardon, starts next weekend in Greenville. And one final note here, the Lottery Commission has picked its head for its sports betting division. 30 years experience in the gaming industry, Sterl Carpenter from Massachusetts will be the state's new Deputy Executive Director of Gaming Compliance and Sports Betting, responsible of developing and managing sports betting regulations in the state as it welcomes in the industry that was legalized this year. He will start on Wednesday here in North Carolina. All right, that is it really for now. We'll get to some other things as time allows later, but we've got to grab a break because we're going to get with us on the phone Greenville's very own ECU baseball alum, Conley alum, and recently retired professional out of Detroit's organization, Bryant Packard. And we will have Pack with us here on the Patrick Johnson Show right after this.
Game.com.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
More of the P-Man coming up in minutes.
Pirate fans, the East Carolina football season is just around the corner, and there's no better time than to guarantee your seat to see the Birmingham Bowl champs at Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. Season ticket packages are as low as $115 in the fan zone. Pirate Club chairback seats can be purchased for $325. The six-game home slate kicks off September the 9th against the Marshall Thundering Herd. Get your season tickets today by calling 1-800-DIAL-ECU or go to ECUPirates.com.
My daughter Ava is 3 years old, and she's been at Children's World since she was about 6 months. She calls it camp because that's what it feels like to her. She gets to learn, but she also gets to play, like really play. She gets to be a kid. Ava absolutely loves Children's World, and I love the peace of mind it brings me. Not just the safety of the campus, but the amount of work and dedication that goes into things like development, communication, nutrition, and activity. When she turns 5, she'll definitely attend Walton Academy, which is part of Children's World. It's the same amazing people. Best of all, the values are the same. This isn't the traditional style of teaching. It focuses on the whole child and places a greater value on the process of learning. You know, when I was growing up, I got an education. But Ava, she's getting knowledge, confidence, problem-solving skills, an entire learning experience that's centered on her. That means everything to me.
Building minds with a creative and engaging curriculum. Children's World Learning Center and Walton Academy, Greenville.
Children's World and Walton Academy.
At US Cellular, you can get a new phone for $600 off, no trade-in needed, which means you don't have to trade in your old phone for a new one. That must sound really good to you, guy with a junk drawer.
I'm just going to sell it to my sister.
That's a twist.
Who am I kidding? It's going right in the junk drawer.
Get $600 off any phone, no trade-in needed. US Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Summertime is here. It's a great time to get outside and enjoy the warmer weather and longer days. Let the team at Cellular Warehouse help you start enjoying these days by eliminating the 2 to 3 hour wait in the local store. They come right to your home or office and handle all of your cellular needs. Best of all, their front door service is free of charge. Call Toby Williams today at 252-799-7051 and let his team start making life easy again. That's 252-799-7051. Cellular Warehouse, your local U.S. Cellular authorized agent.
Hot chicken, cold beer, live music. What's not to love about Nash Hot Chicken in the heart of downtown Greenville on 5th Street? Nash is open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week and stays open later on the weekends. So come try some of our award-winning chicken and southern fixins'. Nash also features the best in local entertainment nightly. So head on over to eatitnash.com to check out the music schedule or order delivery or pickup. Nash, Greenville's best place for great food and entertainment.
Download the new IBX Media app now and get the show for your ears and eyes.
Doesn't it look great on me?
This is the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
What a treat. It's been a long time coming. Bryant Packard joining the Patrick Johnson Show. It's nice to have you on. We've been trying for years, it seems like, and we got you, so this is awesome.
Yeah, it's finally worked out. I'm finally back in Greenville, and I can't be more happy to be talking with you guys.
Well, it's awesome to have you on the program. Lots to get into here. Congratulations on retirement. You're still going to be doing stuff, but deciding that it's best to maybe get off the pro baseball track and get into some other things that pique your interest. I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but it just seemed like you could never be healthy long enough to get any traction going. Would that be a fair, my outside perspective looking in at you perspective?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's something that I have dealt with pretty much my entire career, starting when I was 14 years old. So it's something that I worked so hard to prevent these things, and they happen. So you just feel like you finally take a step forward and it's 3 steps back, man. So it's definitely something that I will always look back on and ask why. But for now, I'm just not going to think about it. I'm going to put my best foot forward, help the Pirates, get some kids better over at next level, and dominate what I'm doing today here in Greenville.
Yeah, we're going to talk all about that, but I'm just curious. You say 14. Was there ever is there a time you can remember playing baseball where you didn't have, an injury, be it a big one or a nagging one, or just 100% pain-free?
The only year that I never felt anything, ever since I was 14 years old, was my sophomore year in college, and obviously that was my big year. I had somewhat of a little a thumb injury early on, but other than just day-to-day soreness, nothing major. And that's big in part to Zach Womack and our athletic trainers. And then I would go over to Kevin Young's, pretty much 3 days a week, and he would take care of me and treat me like his own son. So I had a lot of people helping me.
Bryant Packard with us here on the Patrick Johnson Show. The first of many appearances, we hope, with us here on the program. So let me ask you this. What was the first injury? The 14, you mentioned that specific age. So, I mean, I know I broke fingers somewhere in middle school, but I can't really maybe remember the age off the top of my head. I guess I could if I really thought about it. And then, if you're in athletics, you do have little injuries. I cut my leg one time. But, I mean, what was it that you specifically had at 14?
It's pretty much so that's when my back started. So
Okay.
It's called a Pars defect. I was taking my lead at second base. I don't know why I was trying to steal. I could run about 2 miles an hour back then, but I tried to get picked off, dove back into second base, felt something pop in my back. I'm pretty sure I finished that game, but then I went to spend the night at my friend's house, and I woke up and I thought, weirdly enough, like I felt like I was paralyzed. It was really weird. And it's slow. I went to the doctor, got an X-ray. They said it's a Pars defect, and that essentially is the vertebrae that goes off the bottom of your spine, like near your tailbone, chipped off. So basically, the nerves are freaking out, sending stuff down my leg, and I've been battling that on and off since I was 14. And at that age, the doctor told me that, hey, you might not even be able to play again, and that's when I was 14 years old. So it's 11 years later, and still trying to do it, but not anymore. Or I was still trying to do it, but not anymore. I think my time's done with it. So.
Bryant Packard is with us here on the PJ Show today. So did that injury kind of nagged, I guess?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel it every day when I wake up, but then there's some days where I can't walk.
Oh, wow.
I would be, it's bad. Still to this day, when I woke up this morning, I've really had to get going before I can walk, which sucks. I'm 25 years old, so I kind of had to look at big picture. If I want to play with my kids when I'm 40 years old, I should probably not try and swing something 30 ounces as hard as I can for a living. So maybe do something else.
Yeah, well, and I guess, it's, again, when does the what you could gain short term, as far as what you're trying to achieve, when does it become not worth it? And I guess you reach that point where you just, like you say, it's constant pain, and there's just, if you're putting that continual high level pressure on it, it's not going to get any better or even subside to live a normal life, probably.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing that sucks about it is, every now and then it'll feel like I'm on top of the world. It'll feel like, it's almost as if I never even had a back injury. And that first stemmed after having a cortisone shot, and that helped tremendously. And basically, a cortisone shot's just a Band-Aid, though. So you're definitely still putting a lot of damage on that affected area, but you don't feel it, right? So I had a lot of hope in 2021 when I was healthy, and then I hurt it again. And ever since then, it's just been, like I said, an uphill battle. It's definitely just not worth it anymore.
Well, let's turn our attention to some different things. because there's a lot of cool stuff happening now. You're back as a student coach, and you're Coach Godwin's roomie right now. I don't want to put all your business in the street, but you guys are you're bunking there for the time being.
Yeah. We watch movies every night together, eat popcorn, whole 9 yards. No, it's fantastic. First of all, that house is unbelievable. It's like the coolest house I've ever been in, which is awesome. And then Coach G is a very, he's got his schedule. He's not in the house very much, but when we see him, it's all we're doing is laughing. So it's been awesome.
How is Coach G as a roommate in a sense?
Oh, Coach G is awesome. It's so weird because, first of all, he's a great guy. He's always been a great guy. But when you're 15 years old talking to him on the phone, and you're just so scared of him because anybody in that role you're going to be scared of, no matter the personality. And Coach G was a little harder on us back then as well. So, I was always just so scared of him. And then when I played for him my freshman year, obviously you're a freshman, you're scared. And then I moved on to my sophomore year, and then that's when, he was always very nice to me, very welcoming, but you just get scared of the guy. And then sophomore year was great, junior year was great, and now it's like he's one of my close friends. So it's funny how it all came around, but he's an awesome guy. I wish everybody could get to see the side of him I do.
Is it dinner you're on your own? Is it do you guys have a certain night where you guys grill, or is it takeout?
Yeah.
Who's the cook in the situation?
We got Taco Tuesday.
Okay.
We haven't done any of that yet. Like I said, he's
you had me there. You had me there, actually.
I know. I got you. No, but he's been out of town this week. He gets one vacation a year, so he's been soaking it up. The guy works really hard, so maybe we'll have to chop that out when he gets back. I'll make sure to send you over the menu.
Yeah. Well, I'll happily accept an invite as well. Just throwing that out there.
Of course.
As well. So you got the house to yourself, house party or no?
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but I just don't know if I can handle the repercussions. If he kicks me out, I'll go have to stay with Coach Palumbo, and I don't know how he is. So we'll see.
Yeah,
as of now, no party, but I'll let you know.
You're scared too of him, and that would be a whole new thing to be scared about if you had the party while he was out.
Exactly. I would never have the confidence to do that. So.
Bryant Packard is with us. So you're going to be a student coach at ECU, which means you'll work very closely with Coach Godwin, Coach Palumbo, everybody on the staff, Austin Knight, etc. You got to be excited about that.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I got a little taste of it when it was the game before they went to the conference tournament this year. Mm-hmm. We were down in South Florida. I was down there rehabbing, of course, like every other time, in Lakeland, Florida. And they invited me down for a game, and just being in that dugout, that's when I knew that I wanted to come right back and start coaching. I remember telling my fiance right after that, I was like, you know what, I wouldn't even care to hang him up right now and join the staff. But like I said, just that day, I'll never forget how exciting it was. And it was just a normal Sunday,
Yeah.
So that was just a little taste, and I get to really have a part in this now, working closely with players and seeing the other side for the first time that I've never seen. So I was a little nervous at first, but now I can't wait. I'm antsy. So
yeah, and then you're going to be doing some work with Next Level also, right?
Yes, Next Level Training Center. Yeah, I've been going to them since the day I moved here. Me and my dad. I hit with Lance Martin. Trent Britt is one of my closest friends. I think he's going to be the officiant at my wedding if I can convince him to do so. So I'm very close with all those people. They're just fantastic people, and I can't wait to help them. And I'm so glad that they can help me.
That's awesome. What's the best way if somebody wants to go and have you instruct their kid or work with their child?
Right. What people have been doing, I've got a fair amount already today. What people have been doing has just been calling Next Level, and then they'll reach back out to me. Their numbers on all their socials, but Facebook is probably the easiest thing to message them. And I'm I still want to say I'm young. I'm not on Facebook that much, you know. It's just my dad and
Yeah.
my dad and my grandparents message me on there. And I don't see it for a week, but I'm on Twitter and Instagram more than anything. So that's how people usually reach out to me.
I've got the next level number, which is 756-6398. 756-6398 if you want to. Anybody at Next Level or Bryant Packard, AAC Player of the Year, First Team All-America, Collegiate National Team. That Collegiate National Team experience, and you know, right now, that is something that Trey Savage is getting to experience. Other Pirates have. Take me back to that experience for you. What stands out the most from that?
Oh, just the people. You know, I got lucky enough. Coach G was the coach. Like 15 outfielders got hurt. And they're like, hey, I guess we'll let this guy play. So they gave me a call, and I think we played Japan in the Brave Stadium, which was unbelievable. But it was empty, so it was kind of weird. And then we played Japan on the 4th of July in Durham Bull Park. And I think I could recall every single pitch of that entire game. That was the coolest experience that I've ever experienced. I got the first hit of the game in like the 5th inning, which was also great. And I think we walked him off. Josh Young, who's in the bigs with the Rangers, he's an all-star this year, walked us off. So that was definitely the coolest game of the whole experience. And also my best friend, Jake Agnos, was on the team.
Yeah.
You know, he was basically the best reliever if you look at the stats. So it was an unbelievable experience. I'll never forget it.
Something about playing for you, representing the country's a little different, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I had chills for probably 2 weeks straight. I didn't know that was possible. I was just reminiscing over it and looking at pictures. You know, it feels like it was yesterday. I feel like I could recall it all, and just the players, too, that are now in the major leagues. I mean, I think like 50% of that team is in the major leagues somewhere, you know. So it's just so cool following all those guys and having relationships forever.
We got Bryant Packard on the line with us here. Can I impose on you to stay through the break and be on another segment?
Of course.
All right, Bryant Packard is on with us today here on the Patrick Johnson Show, and we'll have more with him right after this.
Philip Pilkington here with your 94.3 The Game Sports Flash Update. The Pitt County Girls Softball League U12 All-Star team defeated Tennessee on Friday 3-0 to win the Little League Softball Southeast Regional title. The regional title earns Pitt County a spot in the Little League Softball World Series in Greenville. Pitt County was the North Carolina host last year, but this season had to win their way through the regional to get back home for the World Series. The Little League Softball World Series will run from August 6th through the 13th, and the opening ceremony will be on August 5th. North Pitt Star girls basketball player Zamaya Jones is one of the top recruits in the country in basketball. She put out her top 5 schools on Friday. They are as follows: North Carolina State, Mississippi State, Georgia, Florida State, and Alabama. The Panthers guard went over 1,000 career points last season. She averaged 28.9 points per game. Jones had a 55-point performance in the conference tournament and took North Pitt to the regional championship game last season. Chris Edwards, who was recently named as Director of Broadcasting and the voice of the Pirates for ECU Sports Properties, announced Friday that he was stepping down from the position effective immediately. In a post on Twitter on Friday, Edwards said that the decision was made between himself and Playfly, which is the media rights partner for East Carolina University, due to, quote, misleading information regarding my academic accomplishments, end quote. And moving on to the NFL, the Panthers will continue training camp at Wofford College this week. Their first preseason game is just over a week away, and over the weekend they signed quarterback Jake Luton and waived running back Tyrone Evans. This morning they made a couple more moves as they waived defensive tackle Bravion Roy, who appeared in 45 games with the team and started in 15 games over his 3 years with the organization. This freed up a roster spot, which the Panthers filled just about 2 hours ago when they signed former Falcons linebacker Deion Jones. And to golf, Lee Hodges is celebrating his first career PGA Tour victory after he became the first ever wire-to-wire winner in the history of the 3M Open, which is played at TPC Twin Cities. He shot 24 under on the weekend, 7 strokes clear of 3 players who were tied for second. Next up for the PGA Tour, it comes right here to the Tar Heel State as they will play the Wyndham Championship in Greensboro this weekend at Sedgefield Country Club. That'll do it for your 94.3 The Game Sports Flash update. On the other side of this timeout, we will have more of Patrick Johnson and former ECU baseball player Bryant Packard.
Every Monday during the NFL season, get the latest on the Carolina Panthers as Jim Szoke from the Panthers Radio Network joins the P-Man.
Bring on the good stuff, universe.
This and every Monday right here on 94.3 The Game, the flagship station for the ECU Pirates.
Have you had a colonoscopy? If you're between the ages of 45 and 75, you need to be screened regularly for colorectal cancer. Dr. Philip Goldstein at Carolina Digestive Diseases and Endoscopy Center wants to keep you healthy. Dr. Goldstein provides treatment and quality care for all GI needs. Just call the office at 252-758-8181. Appointments are always available within 5 business days.
Hi, this is Dr. Philip Goldstein reminding you that a colonoscopy can save your life. Visit our website, cddgastro.com, and come see us at Carolina Digestive Diseases.
Are you one of the 40,000 North Carolinians who has your health insurance with Friday Health Plans? As of August 31st, they are shutting down and your policy will be canceled. If you don't take action soon, you will be without any health insurance. You might be stressed, but at Flatlands Jessup Insurance Group, we make it easy. Call one of our trusted risk advisors at 252-495-8956 or find us online and we will make the transition from Friday Health Plans as simple as possible for you. Flatlands Jessup Insurance Group, your whole world covered.
Hello, Eastern North Carolina. This is Matt Murchison here at Greenville Nissan. I'm along with Scotty Turner. Hey, buddy. What's going on?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. And we're going to talk about the hot topic in the car business right now, and that's electric vehicles. Nissan's introduced a hot new item into this lineup, and that is the Nissan Aria. Scotty, amazing vehicle.
It is an amazing vehicle, and I remember when we got the first one in, you said, you go, take this, go for a test drive right now.
That's right.
And I did, and I was blown away how quick the takeoff speed was.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, they drive very well. They're very quiet. They have tons of power. And I think a lot of the big misconception is, well, how am I going to get it charged? Well, there's plenty of places to charge your vehicle today in East North Carolina, especially in Greenville. We have plenty for you to choose from. Matt, I mean, the biggest thing right now is the lease specials, too.
Yeah, got a great lease special on the Aria right now. Come check it out. Come take a time and test drive this vehicle. You will be very impressed. Check us out at greenvillenissan.com and Greenville Nissan, where we drive to serve.
Greeting friends of Eastern North Carolina. If you're looking for a great place to work with competitive pay and a multitude of advanced opportunities, Pitt County Schools is hiring. We employ over 3,500 people, and we're one of the largest employers in Pitt County. We are currently seeking teachers, bus drivers, school nutrition personnel, facilities staff, custodians, clerical staff, and more. We offer advanced leadership opportunities to our educators and competitive pay for our skilled labor force. If you want to be part of a thriving school system that focuses on educating students, growing our employees, and promoting positive mental and physical health habits, we encourage you to become a part of our Pitt County Schools family to help ensure success for the future of Eastern North Carolina. To fill out an application, visit our website today at pittschools.org. That's pittschools.org. And remember, education is truly a team effort. Pitt County Schools. Live and lead.
You ready for this?
Oh, I'm very ready. Okay, ready?
You ready? Streaming to the world at 943thegame.com. This is the Patrick Johnson Show. Now, in all his glory, here's the P-Man.
Bryant Packard is the guest today. It's awesome to have him on. People want to hear from him, so we have twisted his arm into coming here for another segment.
I was going to ask you guys.
Yeah, the Conley great, ECU great, announced last week that he is leaving professional baseball, but he's going to get to what I think he's going. Well, I don't think, I know he's going to be uber successful in because it's a passion, and this is coaching and working with players, and I think that's really awesome. Your parents are wonderful people, and your mom, what a courageous fighter she was. And I was looking back through some stuff over the weekend, and it's pinned to the top of your Twitter account, where you kind of talked about your mom. She was just an awesome lady, and I just, if you feel compelled to say something, do. If you don't, fine. But I wanted to tell you that I think she just seemed like not only a brave fighter, but also just a cool person.
Yeah, my mom was, I'll always say she was well, first of all, I appreciate you bringing it up because I always love to have the opportunity to talk about her, But I will say that the thing about my mom is she was the coolest person that I ever met, in terms of not caring what people think, in terms of caring about me and just overall being such a great person. And obviously it's terrible what cancer did to her, but she fought through it. And she was probably, for about 2 years, she's never been passionate about a lot of stuff other than, her family and a few other things. But East Carolina baseball, man, like, I would have thought she had her own 94.3 The Game, Patrick Johnson show, the Cherry Packard show. She was a beat writer for all the moms and the family. So she was just so passionate about baseball, and I would like to think she's proud of me and what I did, and I think she's going to be even more proud because I'm going back. And that was one of the biggest things that once I started thinking about doing this was just thinking about her and how much she loved ECU, and that's another way I'll be able to honor her, going back and being back to East Carolina. But I appreciate you bringing that up, man. I always love talking about her, so thank you.
Bryant Packard is now with Next Level, but he's also a student assistant at ECU with baseball and Coach Godwin and company. So looking forward to seeing Bryant around town, and looking forward to seeing him around the ballpark this spring. It'll be a lot of fun. As far as just kind of starting that journey and the Conley program, and that's obviously something that Coach Mills has built up, with another powerhouse program right down the road with Rose. And it's just there's not a lot of cities that have that, or counties that have that, where you have two high-level, big-time programs.
Yeah. I mean, Greenville's so special, man. And that's another thing I'm going to be excited about is going back and being able to watch a Conley versus Rose game. I have never done that in my life before.
Wow.
I've always been. I know it's crazy. I've always been playing in it. So when you're in college, man, first of all, you don't have time, and second of all, you don't really think about it because when you're at ECU, you're in your own little world, right? You don't really want to do anything else than be at ECU. But the town of Greenville is just unbelievable, and I'm sure you'll hit on it. But the Little League side as well is unbelievable. Yeah, what the softball team is doing, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they just made the World Series, right?
They did.
At home.
Yeah,
which is unbelievable. I mean, just Greenville and all. I don't really think there's another city of our size like us. You know what I mean? In terms of everything we bring with softball and baseball, it's unbelievable.
When you, Coach Godwin talks about kind of the players taking ownership of the program, and that happened along the way, when you were there. It happened kind of in your tenure, where he felt like players really started to take ownership of the program. Were there any guys before you that were kind of that chain to the cult, or was everything just so new with Coach Godwin trying to establish that culture that you guys had to buy? He was sort of the chain, and then you guys started passing it on to the other players.
I really think my freshman year, we had a lot of great seniors, and I know that year we were preseason sixth in the nation. Just a lot of things made us, I don't know how to use the word, but it just made us, hesitant to play. Like we just had so much pressure on ourselves, and it was just such a weird year. But the seniors were so good through it. Evan Krasinski, Eric Tyler, who's now the hitting coach at Duke, Kirk Morgan, Charlie Jorgen, Bryce Harmon, who's a cross-checker for, I think, the Mariners right now. Just a lot of great guys that helped out the program. And then basically when my sophomore year, me and Jake and our class kind of took over, I felt like, as a whole. The two guys that really stood out our sophomore year was Davis Kirkpatrick and Wes Covington. They were both fifth-year seniors, Davis being a founding guy as well. They really just reiterated everything Coach G said, and I think that year we bought so much in. You know, that was the first year of kind of like this dynasty, right? That just kind of we've just been absolutely dominating. And yeah, those guys, man. And then obviously our junior year we helped out as well. And just being in that dugout at South Florida, I can tell you those guys, you know, they're still bought in, and that's why we're so good all the time.
Bryant Packard's with us here. Who were the players that you kind of took under your wing or felt like, you know, you were going to show the ropes of how the Pirate way was?
Yeah, I would say the biggest one for me was probably Connor Norby. Kind of took him under my wing, and then there's some other guys that aren't with the program anymore. But obviously Alec Burleson, I spent so much time with him. He was younger than me, but I always felt like in a sense he was older than me, weirdly enough. But I think those two guys, you know, more than anybody else, I helped out. And Lane Hoover a lot, and Bryant. Yeah.
You know, it's interesting you say Norby, and then Jacob Starling says it was Norby that took him under his wing. You know, so it's really interesting that how that kind of passes down, and that's what you got to have.
Yeah.
All right, so you're engaged. You said that earlier.
I am.
When's the big day?
Big day is her birthday in 2024, November 23rd. You know, I decided, I was like, we were talking about days to do it, and I'm like, hey, I already forget your birthday enough. I can't forget. I can't remember 2 days. So let's just have it on one day, and you know, also it's only one present. So selfishly,
look at that.
I think we decided on that day.
There is no off position on the genius switch there for Bryant Packard.
Yeah.
That's what I should have done. Gosh, that would have been life would have been easier. And then, again, not to put your business in the street, but, I mean, you're not just moving back and getting some cruddy apartment. You are just going to bunk with Coach G all the time. You're getting you're getting property owner in Greenville here soon. So this is all exciting. You're in.
I'll tell you what, man. I am so tired of renting. I just feel like I'm throwing money away, you know?
Right.
So we decided what was best for us was just to get a house, you know, and we've got some help with people. And it's been a crazy experience. I didn't know it was this hard. I thank to God for realtors and people that are smarter than me to help me out, because this stuff is crazy. But yeah, we should be closing around August 21st.
Okay. Well, good luck with that. That's always interesting. As you know, and as you're learning, yeah. And then. I want to just a couple things here. What is the from Little League or you know, when you're playing youth, was there a big memory that stands out?
Honestly, not too much.
Okay.
Man.
How about high school? Was there a high school memory that stands out?
Oh, beating Rose. It was. I think we were at Guy Smith, and I hit it was a run rule, but it was a walk-off home run, and that was by far the biggest memory that I ever remembered. You know, because there's so much built-up tension against Rose. Although I had so many friends on the team, you know, it was weird. But when you're on the field, it's different. But all we would talk about is beating Rose, and that happened, and that was probably, I thought I peaked. I was like, this is the coolest moment of my life. So that was definitely it, man. But yeah, I don't remember too much from Little League, sadly.
What about the ECU thing what's the big thing that stands out? And it may not be anything on the field, you know, it may just be but what stands out?
The biggest thing for me, man, was just, I don't know how to explain it. So I had that hit streak my sophomore year.
Right, yeah.
And I broke the record. And I just remember for those, I don't even know how many games it was. I think 30, maybe 32. Just all of those games, I was just so calm and collected, and the team was just doing so good. And I just remember thinking, like, this is how baseball should be. You know, I was healthy, and the support from my team was unbelievable during the whole thing. You know, because it's a nerve-wracking thing. You show up to the field, you're like, dang, I got to get a hit today. But the whole team, Coach G, all the supporting staff really reiterated that, you know, we're playing for something a little bit bigger. But selfishly, that was one of the most peaceful times in my entire life. I just felt like a kid. I just felt like I had to go out and play, and that's what stands out.
It was 32, and it's not only an ECU record, but 32. A conference record. So there you go. So,
cool. Yeah, cool. Thanks. I forget sometimes, man. It feels like it's so long ago.
Right. Yeah, I got you. And then with your, you mentioned USA baseball, but then I guess, with the from the time you got drafted, your pro career, is there a particular moment where that you kind of have a good memory in the professional part of it?
Not too much other than the training room, actually.
Well, I mean, I have to imagine getting drafted. Actual draft day was probably pretty.
Oh yeah, the draft day was. Oh my gosh, one of the most hectic things I've ever been through. Everybody thinks they should be first rounder, right? So as the picks keep going and going and going, you're like, dang, am I even going to get drafted? And I finally get drafted, and by the Tigers of all teams. I didn't really talk to them at all, and I wasn't too jacked up about playing for the Tigers. I can say that now, which is awesome. I wasn't too jacked up about getting drafted by them just because I knew how they roll, and I got drafted by them, and that was that. But I was just excited to play professional baseball, and then that happened, but I was just so focused on the super regional that it didn't really set in yet.
Right.
And then after the super, I remember getting home, talking to my mom, my dad. I'm like, dang, this is where it gets real. So yeah, but I guess the biggest on-field thing that I remember was actually last year. I hit a grand slam on July 4th, and there was there was 14,000 people there. It was awesome.
Wow.
In West Michigan, yeah.
Yeah, July 4th and you have pretty good baseball memory, so that's
yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
That really worked. That's really pretty awesome. Bryant Packard's with us. I'm excited that you're still going to be very involved in the sport, and that you're going to be involved with the Pirates, and you're going to be in Greenville involved with that baseball scene. I think it's really cool. And again, if you have any interest in having anybody, your child work with Bryant, next level training, call them. You'll see him around Clark LeClaire Stadium with his work with the Pirates as a student assistant, and it's going to be a fun time. And this has been fun. We've been trying to get you on forever, so this is good that we finally did. And I'm happy to talk to you. And you have the open invite. Anytime you want to talk ball, just you're welcome to come on.
Yes. Thank you guys for having me, and I apologize. I don't even mean to duck interviews. I just don't even think about it. But now, it's a little cooler. I have a lot more time. I actually like to talk to people now instead of when I was a baseball player because it's just different when you're a player. But I appreciate you guys having me on, and I can't wait for a great year.
All right, Bryant. Thanks a lot. Take care.
All right, Patrick.
Yep. There he goes, Bryant Packard. Awesome guy, 1'8", his mom, Cherry, was a heck of a lady. His dad, John's a heck of a guy, great family. And happy for Bryant being involved, and kudos to Coach Godwin for getting him involved. I'm guessing sooner than later that hitting coach position that Blake Bortles had and left after taking it briefly or having it briefly, that'll be filled soon. We'll see, though. Great show today. Great to have Pack on. Great guest. Look forward to talking to him in the future as well. Huey Herman died today at the age of 70. And for a lot of people my age, that probably was a big childhood memory. I know it was for me. And then there's the stuff that happened in the 90s in the theater. Yeah. Thanks to Philip Pilkington, Clark Willis, and thanks to Bryant Packard. Jim Zoki tomorrow. We'll catch you in the morning on Talk of the Town and back here at 5. Patrick Johnson Show. Have a great evening, everybody.
If you're looking for a great place to work with competitive pay and a multitude of advanced opportunities, Pitt County Schools is hiring. We employ over 3,500 people, and we're one of the largest employers in Pitt County. We are currently seeking teachers, bus drivers, school nutrition personnel, facilities staff, custodians, clerical staff, and more. We offer advanced leadership opportunities to our educators and competitive pay for our skilled labor force. If you want to be part of a thriving school system that focuses on educating students, growing our employees, and promoting positive mental and physical health habits, we encourage you to become a part of our Pitt County Schools family to help ensure success for the future of Eastern North Carolina. To fill out an application, visit our website today at pittschools.org. That's pittschools.org. And remember, education is truly a team effort. Pitt County Schools. Live and lead.
Calling all future little leaders of the world. At Walton Academy, our teachers embrace who you are and empower you through enriching knowledge by exploring the world through technology and hands-on learning. Small and safe classrooms allow our teachers to embrace our students' individualities. Walton Academy is now enrolling kindergarten